Hey everybody, it is time for Tuesday Talk. I'm loving that I have one night out of the week that I know I'm going live, and I hope that you all enjoy it. For one, it gives me some kind of consistency. It allows me to, hey Darlene, woo! It allows me to just kind of provide some tips, some, suggestions, some value to you in your life. So hopefully you enjoy it. And for those of you that are jumping on and you don't know me, my name is Lisa Williams. I am a health and fitness coach, but I also really focus on the mind and your mindset. And I'm studying right now hypnosis, and I have a class going on right now, a free class. And so that's been really enjoyable. I've just really dove into personal growth, and that's where I think it all starts. So any change you want to make, no matter if it's health and fitness or if it's your life, your relationships, your finances, your career, whatever it is, it has to start in the mind. And so that is definitely where my path has led me. And health and fitness is a vehicle for me to get there. So I am a former teacher. I also do one of my other business is I do teacher consulting. So I'm a former teacher, originally from Michigan, and I moved to San Antonio. My daughter and husband and I moved to San Antonio 7 years ago. So it was the best move for us at the time, and still is, and we love it here. So that's kind of a little bit about me, and I want to start on our topic. And our topic tonight is simple, healthy eating. So many people struggle with what do I eat, when do I eat, how do I eat, how much do I eat, low fat, low carb, plant-based, you name it, it's out there, right? Goodness knows I've tried all kinds of things. And so 2 years ago, I started this health and fitness plan, this program. And I followed a list. I had a list and I followed it, and lo and behold, it freaking worked. So it was simple eating, it was healthy, it was portion controlled, and it worked. And really, it's just about looking at the food and deciding if it's good for your body. I mean, really, it sounds simple enough, but so many of us, due to our mindset and due to the stories that we keep telling ourselves, we're like, oh, I don't think I could not eat French fries, or I don't think I could not eat a Big Mac, or Big Mac takes me way back. I don't even think people get Big Macs anymore. But anyways, it's kind of a catch-22, yeah, you can eat whatever, but you're going to pay for it somehow. You're going to pay for it in your medical, your health later on, or you're going to pay for it now by investing in yourself and investing in eating healthy. And it's kind of a myth. I'm sure there's people that will disagree, but it's kind of a myth that it's so much more expensive to eat healthy. It really isn't. When you take into consideration, when you eat healthy, you're not eating as often. You're fuller. You don't feel like crap, and so chances are, you've got the 9 to 5 job, Monday through Friday. You're not going to miss work because you're sick. There's so many other benefits and reasons to eat healthy. It's not just cost. When you only look at the cost, you're sabotaging yourself. I mean, when you only look at the cost, you're not taking your health into consideration. Now, before I go on nutrition labels and different, foods to watch out for, different ingredients to watch out for, I will say that eating clean and eating healthy is 80-90% of the time. I mean, yeah, there are times when, I know I've said this before, you put a carrot cake in front of me and I will have it. There are times where I want an ice cream. There are times where I want the barbecue, or something that might not be as healthy for me, or might have some ingredients in it that aren't the best. But as a whole, I eat clean. As a whole, I eat healthy. So, and that looks different for everybody. You may have a sensitivity to grains, or you may have a sensitivity to dairy. Those are common sensitivities. You may be allergic to certain foods. So you have to figure out what's best for you. But if you can start out with a solid plan, a solid, healthy plan, then you can tweak, you can go from there. One of the things that people have a kind of scare of is fats. Fats are actually good for you. I mean, our body needs fats. It's what our body doesn't need, and there's a lot of controversy over this. But what our body doesn't need is all the carbs that we feed it. When you look at carbs, from healthy whole carbs down to chips and pastas and cakes and pastries and cookies and all that, when you look at the whole spectrum of carbs, there's a lot of controversy there. What carbs are good for you, what carbs aren't. I mean, I love me a good sweet potato. I won't say that, I don't eat sweet potato. I won't eat quinoa or, some good black beans or something. But I have found, just through trials and just through testing it out myself, that if I have too many carbs, it doesn't agree with me, and I don't feel well. I get bloated. I get funky feelings. So you really have to try what works for you. But it's important for you to not just figure out what works for you, but to also look at the label. A lot of people, and I'm going to share this picture. It's an image, and it just happened to print out really well earlier, but I'm going to share this after the video's over. But it's a very nice reading food labels image, and it kind of points out, I like color-coded stuff. I guess that's the teacher in me, kind of labeling things. But I'm going to post this after I'm finished. But a lot of people will look at the calories, fat, and carbs. Okay, you can look at that, but what's most important on the label, I found, are two things: sugar and ingredients. Those are the two things that I found are the most important on a food label. A lot of times the food label will say to limit certain, trans fats, that's a no. You don't ever want that. You do want to limit that. You want zero, if anything. And the less processed your food, the better you off with your label, because the less ingredients you can have in a product, the less ingredients, the better. But when you're looking at a food label, definitely look at the calories. But that's actually the least important. I mean, you can have a great food, a great label, and it'll have a lot of calories, like macadamia nuts, for one. Macadamia nuts are loaded with calories, but it's all great calories. It's good calories for you. So with the exception of overdoing macadamia nuts, you can't eat macadamia nuts all day long, which nuts are another one of my temptations. Like, I just like to kind of pick at, the almonds or the cashews, or the pecans or whatever. But anyways, you don't want to eat too many of those at one time. But if you're just looking at calories, you'd put them back on the shelf, and really they're good for you. So looking at just the calories, or even just the carbs, is kind of it's clouding up what the nutrition label is really telling you. So for one, no processed food. Pretty much a rule. If it's in a bag or a box, it's got a lot of a lot of ingredients in it, a lot of things in it that you don't need. But if you can buy your food as whole as possible, that's better. But definitely looking at the nutrition label, unless you have an issue with sodium. I don't really look at the sodium, but anything in a can is going to give you more sodium. Anything in a box is probably loaded with carbs and sugar. Anything that says low sugar, or no sugar, or low, what's another one I'm looking for? No fat, low fat. If it has low fat or no fat in it, that's bad. It's got other stuff in it. If you strictly have, this takes me way back, the Snackwell's cookies, all the low fat, no fat craze of the 80s and 90s. There was so much crap in that food. It was crazy, but that was the thing. That was the push, right? So you definitely don't want anything on the label that says no fat, low fat, because it's just going to have other stuff in it. As soon as you look at something, I remember Snackwell's, hey, I ate the heck out of it. And the little 100-calorie treats, those are horrible. I mean, make your own 100-calorie treats. That's what I love about the way I can portion foods out now. I have, of course, if you all know, the 21-day fix, the portion control containers, all of that. So that's what I'll use. Hey, Kim, that's what I will use to portion out my food. Now I kind of know a lot of things by heart, and just by sight, but I will still use that from time to time. So moving down the label, again, I'm going to post this under the video, but the total fat, I wouldn't, unless it has a bunch of other stuff in it, I wouldn't worry about the fat so much. Make sure that you're not having any trans fat, or monosaturated fat. But if you have some saturated fat, that's good stuff. I'm also going to post this. It's a good fats, bad fats. You can see, we know, right? We know this. We know that we're not supposed to have margarine. We know we're not supposed to have donuts and cookies and processed meats. Deli meat is even just really bad. I used to eat deli meat, but now I'll take it fresh cut from the deli and package it. At our grocery store, they actually have a little container by the deli that will have it already packaged, but it's cut from the meat. So it's not like processed deli meat. Just know, canola oil, hydrogenated oils. What's another one on my corn syrup? Anything that is like anything artificial flavors and colors is just bad. I'm going to tell the best thing you can do when you go into the grocery store is, one, we've heard it time and time again, shop the perimeter, right? The perimeter of the grocery store is going to give you the best selection. Of course, there are some times when you need to go down the middle aisles, because I know that coffee and tea are down the middle aisles. I know that my LaCroix, my water, or my bottled water, like the distilled water, is in the middle aisles. So there are some aisles that you have to go down. And we have in our grocery store this energy food or healthy foods aisle where I get my almond butter from the grinder thing, and I get some bulk foods. So those, there are times when you have to go down the middle, but I say, number one, shop the perimeter. Number two, when you pick up something, turn it over and look at the ingredients. Go all the way down. Go all the way down to the bottom and look at the ingredients. If you see anything any kind of added sugar, any kind of oils besides your oh my gosh, I just lost it. You don't want vegetable oil. You don't want canola oil. You don't want HC hydrogenated oil. Sunflower oil. You might want avocado oil, olive oil, EVOO. Those are all good oils. But coconut oil, all of that is good. But definitely look down at the ingredients. Anything artificial, when it says natural flavors, that's a marketing tool that the food industry uses. I mean, that's a whole nother, there's a whole nother video series, all on the food industry. But anyways, know what you're getting. I have foods that have just one ingredient. I mean, I've got almond butter that just has almonds. That's it. I mean, you can get almond butter that has some sugar in it, some pure cane sugar, things like that. And while that's not horrible, the less ingredients you can have, the better. And I'm telling you, like, if you can change your view on this kind of stuff, the good fats and the bad fats, if you can change your view on that, and not have that as often, I'm telling you, like, if you can 90% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, eat healthy, watch your ingredients, look at what's in your food, then you can have your ice cream, you can have your cookie or whatever, you can have your slice of cake at the birthday party, or when you go out to a nice dinner, you can have your dessert, or you might have something that's, not necessarily, great for you. You can do that. But when you do that, more often than not, again, if we go back to the cost of it, you're paying for it. I mean, there's so many diseases that are all related to your diet. And that's another thing that, another topic that can go on and on. I mean, people think that being sick is kind of normal. People think that not feeling well and having no energy is normal. No, it's not normal. I mean, you should feel good. I mean, you should be able to wake up in the morning and not feel like you've just been drugged through a knothole. I don't know. That's one of my grandma's old sayings, I think, drugged through a knothole. I don't know. Anyways, but you should feel like you have some energy. You should feel like you have, some vision, some goals, some things you want to do. And when you eat a really crappy diet, you struggle. Now, give me some likes or some loves or something if you struggle right now. If you're feeling like you're at your wit's end, you don't know what to eat, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to eat, you don't know how much to eat, that's all just based on what we know and what we're fed. I mean, in our minds by what's out there. Everywhere you turn, I know here, everywhere we go, there's fast food. Everywhere we go, there's a taco place. Everywhere we go, there's a Sonic. Every corner we turn, there's a gas station, a convenience store. Yeah, it's hard. But what's harder is having to go to the doctor all the time, having to be, you're sick all the time, you're feeling like crap all the time. So if you can eat better 80 to 90% of the time, then you're not going to have those costs. You're not going to have that time off work. You're not going to have feeling, you're not going to have those days where you're feeling lethargic and just, you're all bloated. I mean, bloating comes from your diet. I mean, bloating, when you feel just puffy, when you feel like I just can't get comfortable, that's because of what you've eaten probably earlier in the day. Some people, it just depends on how fast you react to it, but either earlier in the day or the previous day. I know my daughter was at a barbecue, like a cookout deal, celebration deal event this weekend, and ate stuff that she doesn't normally eat. And she felt like crap. So like after and all that night and the next day, it took like a good day for her to start feeling better because she's not used to eating like that. So when you can get used to eating healthy, it really does make a difference. The last thing that I want to share, and this one's gone longer because I could talk forever on the benefits of eating healthy and how much you eat. So I could but I want to share one last thing before we go. And then if you have any questions, just comment in the video here and I will answer them, or I'll share anything that I need to. But I've got this also, the top 10 worst processed food ingredients. I'm going to share this. I know I held it up there real quick, but I just want to read them off. Trans fats, which we talked about, and your fries, your donuts, your cookies, your cakes, your all that. Saturated fats to an extent. I have that good fats, bad fats, but you know, you want to make sure that the fats that you are eating are healthy fats. High fructose corn syrup. If you ever see that on an ingredient in a food, in the ingredients, put it back on the shelf. Literally put it back on the shelf. Now, every once in a while, I might have something that has that in it, very little of it or something, but it's either I don't know it has it in it, you know, I'm eating out somewhere, but for the most part, for like every part, I will put it back on the shelf. I mean, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how good it tastes, because that is truly one of the worst ingredients for you is high fructose corn syrup. And if you look on the back, if you go in your kitchen after you're off this video, and if you go in your kitchen, in your pantry, and you look at everything in your kitchen, all your foods, you will be amazed. You'll be shocked at the ingredients that you find in your foods. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, not good at all. Artificial colorings of any kind, not good at all. You will see that in some foods. And I mean, I think what comes to mind is like gummy bears and like candies and stuff that have in any kind of soda, pop and soda. Same soda is what they call it down here. So pop is what I grew up with. So pop and soda, any kind of Gatorade, so bad. Gatorade and all that Powerade and stuff, that you look at the ingredients, what it has in it, I'm telling you, you will be blown away by the ingredients. And if you Google some of that stuff, you will not want to touch that again. Artificial sweeteners, the same way. Sugar, any kind of added sugar is definitely something that you have to pay attention to. You have to know what sugar is kind of the pseudo names for sugar. Anything with os after it, and how I said the high fructose corn syrup, any kind of fructose in a food is not good. And I'm talking, when I say not good and just horrible for you and all that, I'm talking about as a staple, as a regular, like I was saying in the beginning, every now and then you're going to have something that, you know, that is not kind of like on your healthy list. And that's okay. I'm not saying abstaining unless that's your choice. I'm not saying abstaining from all of that forever, because I know I don't. But so artificial sweeteners, sodium, if you have a sodium issue, too much sodium, and I will tell you, table salt is the worst salt for you. If you're going to salt your foods, which I do when I cook, use pink Himalayan salt. Definitely, hands down. Get rid of the table salt. That's almost as bad for you as sugar. Anything bleached, anything white, that means any kind of white flour, white pasta, white bread. I see a lot of grocery carts that have white bread, and I'm telling you, if you're trying to save a penny, it's not worth it. It's not worth it in the long run. If you can focus on your health and pay for your health now, you're not going to be down the line in the hospital, in and out of the doctor's office, in and out of, you know, I'm sick, I've got this, I've got that. Do it, take care of it now while you can. And then the last one here is excessive and unpronounceable ingredients. Now, I will say there may be some scientists out there, there may be some people that are familiar with certain ingredients, and there are some ingredients that you may not be able to pronounce that are good for you. So, you know, that aren't necessarily bad for you. But as a general rule, if you can't pronounce it, it probably doesn't need to be in your food. There's so much of our food that is processed that if you can go, especially in the summertime, when it's nice out where you are, if you can go to the farmer's market, if you can go to any kind of grocery store where they have, you know, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, load up on that. There's things to be said about a plant-based diet. If you're going to get any meats, you know, try to get the wild or the grass-fed or organic. And I know that you're thinking like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. But I'm telling you, if you can shop smart and plan out your meals, it is doable. I mean, those of you with families, I get it. I get that, like, you're trying to, cook for everybody and that's a lot of food. But if you can shop smart and really invest, it's an investment in you. I mean, the obesity rate for kids is just through the roof. It's not helping anybody when you save a few bucks at the grocery store. It truly isn't. And so that's the top ingredients. I will go ahead and post this picture. They're just images. So there's, I'm going to post, and I will post this food labels one so you can save it to your phone. Save it to your phone. Save it on your computer. Have it somewhere where you can reference it. And if you have any other questions about anything that I've said, just comment in the video. If you feel like you want to share the video with people that you think can benefit from some of this information. I don't claim to know it all, but I do claim that I have experienced for 2 years the benefits of healthy eating and a cleaner lifestyle. And I have studied, I want to say studied like I went to school for something, but I have studied the nutrition and the way that it affects our bodies and how gut health is important and all of that's kind of a big thing right now is gut health. And it's true. But if you have any questions, I'd love to, work through your diet with you because everyone is different. There are some things that you definitely want to stay away from. Thanks, Kat. There are some things that you definitely want to stay away from, but when it comes right down to it, everyone is different and it's what you can tolerate. I've, grown away from tolerating, or I've gotten away from yogurt and cottage cheese and a lot of, I haven't drank milk in forever, but almond milk or coconut milk, but not regular milk. But I find that yogurt and cottage cheese kind of messes with me a little bit. So I just don't eat it anymore. But any questions, leave them for me. And last but not least, I am getting ready to start a free group. It's free. It's free, no obligation, free group on this exact thing. And you get a meal plan, you get a shopping list. It's going to tell you exactly what to get. You get meal plans where you have like 3 to 4 meals a day. Plus there's fasting options. There's some other options that you can do. You get tips from me throughout the week. It's a 5-day group. It's free. If you want in, just comment, just give me an emoji below or just comment, yes, I want in the group or something, and I can make sure that you see the invite. I will post the event in the comments here after I'm done. And if you want in it, just go and there is a link there for you to register. And it's just so that I can send you some additional information. Like I like to be able to, I can't do everything in the group. Everything that I want to share, I can't share it in the group. So I just like to be able to share other things with you that will help you in your healthy eating, and changing some habits. And we also work on mindset in that group. And so I'm sharing some fabulous stuff on attracting abundance into your life, because I'm gonna tell you what, it's all up here. It all starts here, and you can create the life that you want just by changing this up here. So if you want in, if you want to check it out, at least comment below, and I'll make sure that you get the invite to the event. And it starts on Monday, so I'll be setting the group up on Thursday. And then you'll all be in the group with some other information where you can clean out your kitchen and you can look at go grocery shopping and all of that. So thank you for being on. I know this is one of the longer ones that I've done, but this is such an important topic that I feel like I could go on and on, but I won't go on and on. It's definitely past my little 10 to 15 minute mark that I'm aiming for on these Tuesday night talks. But next week's topic, I haven't actually nailed it down yet, but I have a couple things, a couple surprises for you. So I will post throughout the week what the next topic will be, but it'll be the same time, same place, and invite people to join. I'm loving this. I love being able to share things and help people. And so it must be the teacher coach in me. So I love it. And oh, in the free group as well, I'm going to give you some exercises to do every day. They're just short little routines, like 20 to 30 minutes routines, not anything that I'm doing, but they are just short little routines that you will get every day. So I'm super excited about it. The group, it's going to be the best one that I've had in the last 2 years. So I'm pumped and I'm ready to help people. So come and join me. If not, that's cool. I'm always here. So you guys have a great evening, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.